Hey, great Monday morning. It is a beautiful morning in the city of Brownsville, Texas, and I'm fighting with the airline. I don't know what the world's going on, but for some reason, Aeromexico, using Aeromexico this time around, Aeromexico is having issues either with their website or I'm just not getting it. So let's see what happens. Uh, I think that's one of the issues that a lot of folks have in regards to technology. It's just not as it wants me to find in my flight. It's not as simple as it should be, I think. And what happens is that a lot of folks start to fall. No, Ruby, no, quería hablar contigo, no sé qué quería. A lot of folk who seem a lot of people think that then it's supposed to be so simpler, and it's not. So I don't know what to do. Anyway, I hate it. Um, Roman didn't respond yesterday. Roman's Roman. I got a message from Frankie. Frankie should be on in the next 5-10 minutes. I got a message from Frankie as to that he was. I don't know if he wanted to talk about something, but just said, "Hey, I'm going to be ready for Monday at in the morning." I actually thought he was going to be here in the studio at my office. It didn't happen. I had a pretty decent weekend. I went to the island. It's kind of trippy because good morning, Chris, my man. It's kind of trippy because I'm going to the island now, and I'm going to recognize a lot more. I don't know if it's because of this beautiful face or just my charming personality, but went to a hotel and I find that the owner of the hotel is a friend of mine that I'd conversed with for the longest time. I didn't even know. Went to Meatball Cafe at the island. It's amazing, Meatball Cafe. I love it. And the owner of Meatball Cafe came up to me. She was like, "Hey, what are you doing up here?" I said, "I just came to spend the weekend." She goes, "Let me tell you, how's everything? I know you just got here, but how's it?" It's like, so far, it's been great. The food was amazing. It's always good there. I also went to Tom and Jerry's. Waiter knew who I was, and the food was good. It was, halfway edible at Tom and Jerry's. It's kind of a weird deal, weird place, but good. The drinks were good. The drinks were good at Meatball Cafe. I had a Moscato, and when I spent some time meeting up with a lot of winter Texans. There's a crap load of winter Texans down here, and it's kind of trippy because I think I remember that there was a time when winter Texans would like spend a lot of time here in Brownsville, Texas. Does anyone know if that still happens? Did we lose the winter Texans? I'm not sure. I'm not criticizing anything. I just haven't seen as many snowbirds. We used to call them snowbirds here as we used to. I love Tom and Jerry's. It was good. The food was good. Uh, I had a shrimp platter and had la entrada de los deditos and some crap like that. Oh, and the triple threat. I think came with mozzarella sticks and potato skins and some chicken wings. I didn't try the chicken wings, but a friend of mine that went with me that said the chicken wings were great. He ate them all too. Aside from eating all the shrimp platter, I didn't try the shrimp either. Didn't have a chance. Good morning, good morning. But some good stuff. I actually brought back some from Meatball Cafe. I brought some fried ravioli, which is a an appetizer. I ate half of one and brought two of them back. Some good stuff. I'm going to have that for lunch, unless someone out there invites me to lunch. But was meeting up with the snowbirds and just having some great conversations with these people. It was a great little time, and great little time with the snowbirds. And then I got the munchies at close to midnight. So what do you do when you get the munchies? You go to Whataburger. So I went to Whataburger, and sure enough, took a picture with a couple of pictures with people out there. But it's just really different, really busy, really different, really different experience. Really different experience to be out at the island. But it's fun. I think it's one of those resources that we have that we just tend not to use as much as we probably should or could. And great experience this weekend. I was supposed to come back early this morning, but I ended my trip quick, lickety split quick, because I wanted to be here today. Hola, ¿cómo andan? Saludines a mi prima Ruby. I'm sure she appreciates that. Are we doing lunch today? I'm not sure. Can't need to remember. Let me know. I think we are. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Yeah, we're doing lunch today at 1 o'clock. Unless I get detained again at on the bridge. I hate getting stopped at the bridge. I think I made mention of this. I don't know if someone went out there and reported my ass, but I'm getting stopped at the bridge, and it's not fun. The first time I was crossing at I think it was 10:30 after a wedding, and the guy goes, oh, go over there to the side, and they ran my confirmed today 1 p.m. Yeah, I went and like we're investigating my passport. I'm going like I cross every day, you know. Oh yeah, we'll talk about BIC. So I cross every day. Why are y'all detaining me at the bridge? And it's already happened to me twice. So I'm coming back at night. I think it was like can't remember Thursday. I'm coming back at night on Thursday. And I get detained at the bridge for a little bit. It wasn't that long, so I didn't think about it much because it's happened to me before. And then 2 days later, I drove into Matamoros. That I think it was Friday night that I had that wedding over there, and I was driving back at night, and they made me put my car through the X-ray machine and all this other crap. I'm going like, what the hell? That's twice in a row. Have you ever gotten? Have you got when we go to Matamoros? Did they ever stop you, Frankie?
Good morning, Erasmo. Usually, whenever I go into Matamoros, I always cross walking. Um, Even though it is safe, I always, in the back of my mind, I'm like, hey, I drive a Porsche. I don't want nobody to steal it. So I always go walking. But for the most part, I do have the passport book and card, and I usually don't have any, go to secondary, go to, to para revisarme. And even when I did, uh, I blame it to the phenomenon of Erasmo Castro. Like, oh no, this guy's crossing something. He's up to something or something. But no, for the most part, I've never had any issues when I've been in Mexico when I've crossed. It's but it's always walking.
Well, I was saying that First time I did the crossing thing, I was walking too, and I didn't get it. I got detained, not detained, but they clase premier, but they wanted to inspect me, and I'm going like, okay, that's fine. And I know that sometimes that happens, like random, So I didn't think much of it. I didn't think much of it. But then I was coming back in the car, and then they stopped me again. And this time they checked the whole car. The good thing about that though was that they found my phone. I'd lost the phone, my Mexican phone, and I didn't know where it was at. And somehow they were investigating, revisando el carro tanto that they actually found this phone. And I'm going like, well, thanks. You know, I didn't know where it was. I don't even know where they found it. But so they found the phone. I was tripping. A cavity check. I wish. And then was they sent me to the cuartito, and they made me take off my I put everything, my belt and everything in the little box and stuff, and they patted me down. I'm going like, well, thanks. That's probably the most action I've gotten, in a while. But
Were you freaking
it was
out or what?
no, no, no. I mean, it's happened to me before, but starts going down and patting me down. And I'm going like, and it wasn't such a bad looking guy, so I'm going like, de perdida está guapo el vato que me está checando. Es, you know, because they dig in there. They do all the balls things and everything. So it was kind of a trippy deal. So I'm there for like 5 minutes, and I'm going like, what the hell? And you don't have a phone, you don't have anything. And then I remembered, Frankie, that I had in the car some tea that I brought back from Turkey. Turkish tea, it's powder. Y dije, "Oh, chinteras." Now I'm going to be here like for another hour because they're going to want to investigate the powder to make sure that it's tea and not something else. And it's pink, it's pink because it's a pomegranate tea. So no, I got back, put on my belt, got my stuff. I found my two phones, the office phone that I had in the car and the phone that I had lost. So I said thanks, and I told the guy, I said, "Hey, is there some? This is the second time this happens to me. Is there something I should be worried about?" He goes, "No." He goes, "It was just random, you know." So I'm wondering if that's the case, if it was just random, or because I know that they'll do random checks every so often out of like 100 people. They'll get one. But I was a little bit on the tripping side.
Rookie. But again, that's just the luck of the draw. You were the chosen one, and but the good thing is, hey, you have nothing to hide. You have nothing to worry about. Just that's what I always tell my friends because some people always get upset, like, hey, why me? And they start arguing with them, and it's like they're just doing their job.
Oh yeah, I'm not upset.
But as long as they do, and then they'll they'll be sure to get you on your way.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't. My issue is like today, I have to go at 10:15. I got to go do a quick wedding over there. Go talk to some people that want to get married, have conversations with them, blah 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 blah. And then I'm coming back, and I have a wedding here at 11. So my question is, are they going to detain me again? I'm going to spend 20, 30 minutes out there, and I'm going to arrive late for my wedding here. That's going to suck. But again, it's the luck of the draw. It is what it is. What can you do? Nothing. You can't complain. But if I get detained again today, this morning, I am going to ask guys, tell me what is up, Tell me what is up. Is there anything pending? Do I need to be worried? Do I need to clear anything up? I think one of the things that a friend of ours, Stecelli, they would stop her every time, and that was because this is kind of trippy. They applied for a gun permit for or something. They applied for a gun
And
permit.
that comes
So,
out in the system.
huh? Yeah, because
That
it's
comes out in the system.
that firearm and tobacco. What's that? What's that organization? The not the TEA, the
ATF.
TF, ATF. The ATF, they're hooked up with Homeland. Well, they are part of Homeland Security, so they go out there and they'll say like, "Oh, it's on there." But I haven't applied for a gun or anything to deal with a weapon, so I don't know why I would get an ATF, little flag up there. My concern is, in this day and age, could somebody else have applied for an ATF, a gun permit or something under my name? You know what I'm saying? Frozen, Frankie, super frozen, Frankie.
Yeah. In this day and age, you never know. I guess.
You're due for a cavities check. I appreciate that. I'm glad that we have that type of friendship, my man.
Don't give
Oh
them
yeah,
any idea.
yeah, Frankie.
You don't
You're
need
the
any ideas.
you're the all blurry, and you're all blurry, and you're all like you're going on slow motion, or you're just or you're frozen now.
Yeah, I'm having issues. I don't know why it's just now.
Maybe you should turn in that Porsche for a something better than a cricket phone.
Never.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, one of the things that I was excited about having Frankie on here, I wanted to get his take in regards to the 16 million that BISD finds itself in a hole. $16 million in a hole. Hello?
Yes, I did follow that. It's going to be interesting because the board member Daniela Lopez Valdez, she was stressing how the the last election they needed to pass in order for teachers to be compensated and also to offset the the money that was going to that the governor did pass. But $16 million. It was my impression at Osmo that if the election did pass the way it did, the teachers were going to be given a raise supposedly, and the district would not find himself in such a deficit. That was my understanding. That if the election did pass, which it did, that we wouldn't find it. It seems as if we are. Now the question is, why did we get misrepresentation regarding data, or where is that money going to? Again, you have a $500 million entity that is in the whole 16 million. That doesn't look good.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Daniela Lopez Valdez. Let me tell you that I was I got into a little bit of a back and forth with AOBE, because I don't know if you remember back then when they were trying to pass that measure, they had her on and she was out there like, "Oh well, no, this it's going to be great," and I was out there and I got pissed off with them, going like, "Ask her the real questions, ask her the tough questions. You've got a board member on." You have an opportunity to ask them what really is affecting the district. And they were just doing softball questions at her. And I thought, what's the difference between you all and TVEA and Best if all you're going to be doing is kissing up to these people? I mean, they're the ones that need to be kissing up to you all, not the other way around. That's the way the governmental chart works. If you don't believe me, you could ask Captain Bob, because he says it every day. And it was just unfortunate. It was just a wasted hour and a half, 2 hours that they had Daniela out there for nothing, for nothing. And she was adamant, fighting, wanted it to pass. Y ahí va toda la gente. And again, I'm amazed at the voters here. Really, the voters, they still have faith in these people. They went out there, yeah, it's the greatest thing. And if Daniela says it and she's out there fighting for it, and they voted for it. They made it pass, and we're still screwed with $16 million in the hole, and that's unfortunate. So I challenge Daniela Lopez Valdez, the community's board member, challenge her to come on a show like this, and let's talk about the numbers. Let's talk about the promises that you made when you were out there on that AOBE show, and we're out there pandering to everyone and anyone and everyone you knew to go out there and pass this, and we still got screwed. One of the comments that was made was that the ones that are going to be most affected by this are not the upper level people. They're going to start to cut from the bottom.
What I found it interesting was that, and I did read the Herald, that the super, he was just he wasn't making any sense. And again, my understanding was that if the election was passed, that we wouldn't be in this hole. What I want to know is, now that we find ourselves in a $16 million hole, isn't it imperative for the board members to request a an audit to see, are they aware of where the money is going, where the money's missing, or are they going to blame everything on the governor and say, "Oh, property is everybody's dealing with this"? But again, this was the if not, there's going to be no money. We can't do anything. So now what do we say? Is the full majority on the hook for this 16 million? Because that's what it looks like to me,
Well,
Erasmo.
again, going back into what I think your comment was, it really does suck that every single entity out there wants to blame somebody else, and it's just it's easy to go out there and say, well, it's the governor's fault. Look, the governor may have his voucher thing, his way of going, and his cuts and everything else. It doesn't excuse any board out there, not just our board, any board out there, to just cross your hands and say, well, it's not our fault. Well, do something about it. That's what you were elected to do, especially with an entity as financially stable and strong as is BISD. I mean, you made mention they are a $500 million entity. Besides that, what happened to all the ESSER funds, all the ESSER money that came in? Frank, I've been screaming for an audit for years now, and I'm just so surprised that the individuals that are on there right now aren't asking for an audit. I mean, they've had individuals move from one department to another department, constantly going everywhere for the same reason. I mean, Mary Tolman, who was in federal funds, stayed there for the longest time, even after her sister Sylvia Atkinson, who supposedly is already out of jail, cannot confirm that yet, but supposedly it's already out of jail. I mean, they let her stay there. And I said, are y'all mad? Are y'all, I mean, ignorant? We need an audit. They have yet to effect an audit at BIST.
Again, I welcome a an audit. I think it's important for the public to really understand, why is one of the largest entities in South Texas in the hole? Are we going to blame this 100%, Erasmo, on the governor, or are there other underlying issues that we have? And one thing that we have been hearing for the past, X amount of years is that this majority has been very, very friendly with these board members. If a service costs $2, $3, they pay them 5 to 6. Now, where does this lead us moving forward? You just made an interesting point. They're going to start. They have to make adjustments, right? They have to cut people. They're not going to cut the super. They're not going to cut the assistants. They're not going to cut any directors. They're going to cut at the lower level, the aides. Now, my question is, don't we already have a lack of manpower at the district? Um, schools, classrooms, they're outnumbered. It seems as if the teachers, the morale is low. Nobody wants to work. There is no silver lining, in my opinion, Erasmo, to this current condition. It seems as if every time that a new majority is formed or this majority remains, it goes from bad to worse, Erasmo. And I really don't see no silver lining in the future.
Well, Frankie, I don't know if you saw the videos. Well, I did. I didn't post them out there because as is my TikTok account got blocked because I posted the videos of the veterans fight on my TikTok. That's just a clear example. You're talking about, I think it was six different fights throughout the school that happened during the same time. Supposedly there was a stabbing out there of food and nutritional service. Have not confirmed that, but it was like six different fights in that school. I think throughout the videos, I saw one security officer, maybe two. And let me tell you, it's not enough, especially with the way a lot of the tacuaches in these schools are acting. And I don't know if you saw the videos, but the videos, ahí andan los puercos con los pantalones en la nalga. They look horrible, horrible. And those are the ones that are out there fighting. It's all the tacuaches. And God help us all. But if the tacuaches continue to fill our schools and we don't have the manpower out there to protect the students that actually want to learn, as to what are you going to do? And you could go out there and bitch about the vouchers all you want. But if I was a parent, I wouldn't want my kid in a tacuache school. You know, I'm going to either homeschool them or try to put a couple more bucks together and send them to a private school where there's a little bit more attention to students. But you've got, and again, it's going to come down the line. You're going to find classrooms with 50, 60 students in them. That's what's going to happen because they're going to cut from the bottom. They're going to get rid of some teachers. They're going to get rid of a lot of the different little programs out there that they had for our students. So again, tacuaches win, and the halfway decent students get screwed.
And it's pretty ironic, Erasmo, because wasn't veterans
It's
one
crazy.
of the
Yeah,
foofy schools? At least in my
it was.
opinion, it seems if now is how I guess I'll use it. But it all goes to leadership, in my opinion. If our leadership does not have a vision, what do we expect from directors, administrators, principals, teachers? It all trickles down from the top at Osmo, and this majority have not taken the horns. We keep on talking about the ESSER funds. What the hell happened to the ESSER funds? Wasn't that 160, 180 million dollars that
185.
now we don't know where the heck it went? So it's BISD is bleeding. We're losing kids. We're losing them to Jubilee to say BISD is no longer that school district on a hill. We'll be lucky if we have 30,000 students in the next few years. It's a shame, but we have seen how this majority, their focus has only been on getting opportunities for themselves and enriching themselves.
Well, the chief of police at BISD is a disaster. A disaster. And again, I've been fighting the chief of police at BISD for a couple of years now. Maybe that's what's getting me in trouble with crossing the bridge every day. But let me tell you, automatically they wanted to, incarcerate students for vaping. And again, it may be against the policies. It may be not good. It's wrong. Whatever. I don't care. I don't want a kid getting a felony because they were in the same room with someone that was using a vape pen. But again, if he really wants to get rid of security, and for every two security guards, get one cop, that's just cutting the force down to half. And let me tell you, I know a lot of the security guards out there at BISD. I know most of them. Let me tell you, they do an amazing job, and I wouldn't want their job. I don't care how much they're paying. I wouldn't want their job just because you have to deal with all those tacuaches. And let me tell you, this is the generation of tacuaches. You've got parents out there consintiendo los mendigos huercos, giving them iPads, giving them iWatches, giving them the newest phones, buying them cars. Stop doing that. The huercos son huercos malcriados. I was freaking out at how these individuals were dressed, and like you mentioned, veterans is La Fufi school, is the nice school out there, the newest school, the one that everybody wants to go to, the one that parents that leave St. Joe opt to send their kids to veterans because they think it's about the same without having to pay all that amount of money. So it was the Fufi school. Six fights at one time. There was one security officer there in the middle of it, and I think later on a police officer came. That's two individuals for six fights. It's impossible. Now I'm surprised that nobody else got more hurt than they did. I'm just amazed and surprised because at the end of the day, that could have been a major disaster. You could have had more than one individual taken off in a stroll in a one of those strollers, not a stroller. What are those calls? Those medical, um, those ambulance beds. What are they called? Stretcher on a stretcher. I'm glad I didn't say body bag. Just travel down
Sure.
Highway 40. Yeah,
A stretcher.
stretcher. Yeah, BID sinking. Gotcha. 100%. The chief of police wants to get rid of security guards, and for every two security guards to get rid of, he wants one police officer. It's a disaster. BIC going to crap, is a reflection of the leadership and majority. Cuatro, majority four. Yeah, it is 100%. And again, they don't care. I mean, and what really really irks my chain, Erminia, is that little Eddie's going to come up for reelection. Daniela's coming up for reelection. Denise coming up for reelection, and Minerva Peña. That's right, right?
No, Jessica.
Oh, Jessica and Minerva Peña. There's four seats coming up, guys. There's a great opportunity to transform the board, change the majority up there, get them out. But is this community going to actually do that? I don't know. Eddie, being a former cop, should know that cutting security is a big risk for our bordering school. Yes, especially, and I'm glad you used that word, especially a school that is so close to the border, Frankie. It's just so close to the border, and we have an influx of illegal aliens, coming across the border by the thousands here locally, by the thousands every day. So that just adds on to the dilemma. And again, a lot of the schools like Porter and Rivera that are farther away from the border should be looking a little bit more appealing than Lopez, um, Pace, and veterans. And I love the schools. The superintendent Daniel Lopez Valdez have made a deal to keep all administrators safe and only cut from the bottom. Yeah, I believe that.
The almighty dollar. Unfortunately, that's the environment that we live in. The board members, they're only looking to enrich themselves. It's going to be interesting to see who runs against Daniela Lopez Valdez. Many individuals have brought it up to my attention, just the way they did with with board member Prisi. They were upset that she was a sitting board member, and I believe her son was going to a private school. And I think Daniela Lopez Valdez's children or child also goes to a
Hmm?
private school. It just goes to show that these individuals are just on these elected seats to self enrich themselves. They have no clue or concept of what they're doing. Two of them, Denise, got a job for a vendor that was seeking a multi-million-dollar contract with the district. How did she get that job? Because of her brains? No, because she's a board member. And also, Daniela Lopez Valdez, she works for the Midi Cultural District. Do you really think, Erasmo, that she actually works or she's just getting a
No,
nice paycheck?
it's a page.
But again, these are the individuals that the community voted for. And it seems to me that how did Professor Zabaleta say? We demand corruption here in South Texas. And that's the sad thing.
Apparently, to put pressure on the board to get rid of that outdated chief. One of the videos showed a kid with a gun on school ground. This isn't. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. And let me tell you, if there was just one stabbing, which is one is too many already. Very fortunate that it wasn't a lot more. It was horrible. It really, really was horrible. Almost as horrible as Frankie's internet connection. I'm amazed how bad it's getting. I was class of 2011, and it was a nightmare in Porter back then. Imagine now. It's a disaster, Luciano. It really is a disaster. It's horrible. And I don't see an out to it. I don't see an out unless drastic measures are taken in regards to putting the money back into student services, that which it directly benefits students, instead of, again, as Frankie mentioned, instead of the pocket of the corrupt majority for. And it's so amazing because one of the things that I think people were most surprised of was how Jessica Gonzalez was like, "Oh no, I'm a parent and I'm all for and all this and special education." She screwed every single individual in every group out there. She fixed her teeth finally, got a loan from a bank. I mean, it's just right there. She banked, made a killing in the 4 years that she was supposedly going to be, a parent advocate for special needs and for parents and out there. She's a piece of trash. A piece of trash. When was the last time an illegal attacked a school? Well, we've had a couple of incidents where we had lockdowns because of the crossing of individuals coming over from Mexico. It's a fact. And again, any lockdown, even if it's a soft lockdown, which we've had multiple, is a uh, interference in regards to our students, our staff, our students being educated. It takes away from their time because you're funneling resources that should be going to the educational process into the security process, and that's what's unfortunate. Oliver Anthony said the dollar is crap and taxed to the end. Daniela no va a correr de vuelta. Yeah, I think she's going to county. Qué horrible para los niños y maestros. 100%. Is making a deal to give coming school CTE to MIDI cultural district, just as we the Villarreal director. They want the building, don't care for the kids. They don't care for the kids. With that said, and let me tell you right now, they should have bought Cummings a long time ago. And I was out there, and uh, I talked to the city commissioners and the mayor at that time. I said, guys, now is the time to buy Cummings. Buy Cummings, because what happened, Frankie, is we started to invest money in Cummings in regards to upping the power grid out there, and it was going to be like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and remodeling a lot of the school, the old school, and fixing it up for the CTE program. So I said, buy it now before it tends to be more expensive. Well, now you've got board members on there because they work for the Midi Cultural District, and the zoo now falls under the Midi Cultural District Foundation. I don't know. And Dinah, I know we're going to have lunch. Let's have lunch so that y'all can explain all this crap to me, because I don't understand the difference. I still don't understand the difference between the foundation and the district, and it doesn't matter. My concern is why hire Daniela Valdez? And when I have lunch with Dinah, which I'm supposed to have lunch with Dinah Midi, when I do have lunch with Dinah, it's going to be the first thing I ask her. Why Daniela Lopez Valdez? She's a freaking airhead, a dumbass. Brings nothing to the table except that she is an elected official and in the majority at BISD. That's the only thing that she has going for her, besides the family's money. That's it. Worthless to our students, to our staff, to our community. Until some students or several students are hurt or worse, will the board look into not even then. Daniela Lopez Valdez is running for Port of Brownsville. She should. That's going to be interesting.
It seems as if these elected officials at Erasmo, uh, they just hop from one position to the next, and she learned that from her father. Her father was at South Texas. Now he's at the county. It's all about the money for these people. Again, these people don't run because they want to have a positive impact within the community. They run because they see the dollar signs. Now, what's Bill, Erasmo? What's Bill? Is she going to? What's going to be her message for port of director at the or director at the port? Uh, what experience does she bring to the table? And the interesting thing about the port is you don't need that many votes. And I think people win with what 1,000 at most 2,000 votes. Since their election is not aligned with the but it just goes to show that these elected officials. Look at Eddie Garcia. He's jumping to the county. These individuals just use BISD as a stepping stone, and the electoral people, you know, they keep on eating it up. They say, "Oh, she's the best qualified." No, she's not. But then again, we only have ourselves to blame for electing her.
An airhead, little airhead, nothing, brings nothing to the table. And again, yeah, your point is well taken. What have you done whilst a board's member that the community should take into account and say, well, she's going to be an asset at the Port of Brownsville or any other position that she goes to. What has she done? Place the district in danger with a 16 million a deficit in the budget? Placed a lot of our lower staff out there, the lower rung, lower paying staff, not because of position or because of their worth, but the lower paying staff out there in danger of not being able to put an extra food a plate of food on their table. And that's what's unfortunate. They've done nothing to better this district, to better the community, to better the lives of our students and our staff. But again, as Frankie mentioned, I mentioned as well, we don't have anyone to blame but the people that go out there and vote. Stupid people. Stupid people. If you still think that voting for Daniela Lopez Valdez, Eddie Garcia, La Jessica Snaggletooth Gonzalez, and La Muerta de Hambre Denise, that voting for these people is actually a good thing. ¿Qué pasó siempre con la familia que va en contra BISD? If you're talking about the kid, not sure. Uh, we're still waiting for the outcome of the pending. We need to get board members that aren't there for the Facebook likes and popularity contest. Yeah, you should get someone that already has the Facebook likes and the popularity, and that's Erasmo Castro, because I already have it. If they're unqualified and unethical, why are they voted in? Money. Yeah, my son told me that they need to get rid of PE and do school survival class, like obstacle courses and uh, duck and hide and if a bomb comes, what are you going to do? maybe, maybe they need to all learn karate or some stuff. Because let me tell you, I was seeing some of these kids that were fighting out there. They're no saben pelear, ni pelear saben. It is. I agree with you. Anything else, Frankie?
Now, disappointed. My internet is whack. I don't know what is going on. Again, I had a I had a show earlier. If you didn't tune in, make sure you go and watch it. And everything was going fine. For some reason, I come on to your podcast and I'm lagging. So gotta work on my spectrum skills there.
Guys, have a great day.
Yes.
Probably won't be on tonight, but we'll be out tomorrow morning. There's going to be a mild area disaster. It's horrible. Guys, have a great day. Social distance, face covering, hand sanitizer, silver, all that crap. I'm done. Guys, be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless.